Hey guys, Quinn, Police Motor Training. Today I'm going to show you a technique that I utilize, I consider a foundational technique that helps my motorcycle drop into a turning movement with less effort and a little bit snappier, and actually helps me ultimately turn a tighter radius. So the technique I'm talking about and we're going to learn today is unlocking our hips, the hip technique. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to explore and get comfortable with the range of motion of our hips. All right? So to do this, you may feel like you have to turn in your man card, whatever. Just deal with it, okay? This is all about progress, so just suck it up. So, range of motion with our hips. That's this right here, all right? So here's what I'm gonna have you do. I'm gonna have you do this in a mirror. I want you to simulate like you have handlebars in your hands, and as your hips move one direction, whatever direction that is, that's the direction we're gonna be steering. So it's going to look like this, okay? That is what we're doing on the motorcycle. We're unlocking our hips. Now, how do we unlock our hips? So there's two things. There's locking our hips up and kind of moving our pelvis forward. We don't have a lot of range of motion, so we're unlocking it this way to get a lot of range of motion, okay? The good news is, like me, you're by yourself and doing this and no one else can see you. So that's why I don't feel embarrassed about it. So let's continue. So, what you're going to feel as you do this, notice, I want you to notice, I'm not doing this, my upper body's not moving around, my upper body's nice and stable, right? We want to create a stable platform on the motorcycle. And as I said, we're not changing our program. This is just a little subtle thing we're adding to your current program, and it should not upset the apple cart when you ride, okay? It should just enhance everything that you do. Remember, this is a foundational benefit to everything that you're doing. So, back and forth. Now, I feel a little pull right in my lower back, right on the sides a little bit, right? That's what I'm feeling. And I'm unlocking this. If you need to put a little bit of jazzercise music on, some 80s stuff to kind of get your mind right, feel free to do that. Again, we're all alone here. No one else can see us. So just work this right here. And then once you're like, all right, I feel it, I've got it, I'm not upsetting anything else on my body, now I want to see those bars move, okay? And that's what we're doing. So we're throwing our hips out into the turn, okay? So I want you to do this. This is exercise 1. Do this exercise. I'm starting to feel burn in my hips, and I'm feeling it. Bars turn, hips go with the bars, right there. Muscle memory, right? Do this over and over again. Trust me, it's not that visible on the motorcycle. So when you do throw your hip out there, nobody's going to go, what are you doing? It looks natural. They can't even see it with all the other stuff, okay? So this is exercise 1, all right? The other ones are on bike exercises, but just work this in a mirror so you know you're moving those hips and you know you're not doing all this crap and moving your body around. That's what we don't want. All right, I've embarrassed myself enough. Let's get on the bike. Okay, so I have about a 30-foot circle here, and my goal with this exercise is to just simply generate a lean angle that I can live in, okay? So I'm just living here with the motorcycle leaned over nice and smooth and comfortable. And what we're going to do is we're going to explore how the hips impact the turning radius of this motorcycle, because when you understand it in this space and we can reproduce it and kind of live here, then you're going to see the radius gets tighter and opens up as I ride, okay? So here we go. My hips right now are they're unlocked, but I'm not moving in a lateral motion with my hips at all. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my hips to the inside here, where I'm going to generate more lean angle, and let's see what happens to my turning radius. Ready? And here we go. Instantly the bike just went inside, okay? So let me open it up back up. I come back out. You go back in, radius tightens up quite a bit. Outside, so now I'm back. Now let's do exactly the opposite. So now I'm going to move my hips to the outside, and let's see what happens to our lean angle. The bike should pick up a little bit, meaning it should have less of a lean angle. Let's go, let's see what that does. There we go. So it's pushing me up, pushing me wide. Now I'm back to normal. My radius comes about to where I was before. Now I move my hips on the inside.
Oh, look at that. Nice and tight. So, if all you do when you're riding your motorcycle is play around with your hips, it's going to have a pretty significant impact on your overall turning radius, right? So we just explored that and we just understand it now. Now what I want you to do in this drill is to continue to explore that. Don't do anything else different. We're not trying to go fast. Just play around with your hips. Inside, back to normal, go back around. Outside, open them up. Wow, look at that. Outside, now inside. The radius is just significant, and all I'm doing is my hips, as I keep saying. So work this drill until you're comfortably able to move your hips in a manner that impacts the motorcycle's lean angle and effectively the overall turning radius. All right? That's a big exercise. Work that. You'll be surprised. We talked about the motorcycle drops in more efficiently. So what we're going to do, I've got about a 60-foot space here. We're going to do ovals in each direction, do about 10 ovals each way. And what we're just going to practice is going straight and then initiating a drop, and we're going to make a U-turn and go the other way. And I'm going to go one way until I get comfortable with initiating that little hip movement with the counter steering press to drop the bike over, turn around, and understand that when I do turn around, I'm not coming out of that hip movement. So I'm going to engage my hips, and I'm going to live there with my hips engaged, with that lateral movement of my hips, and hold on to that throughout the turn. So let's do that now. Nice and smooth and straight. Engage the hips with the press. Bike falls over, I turn around. Nice and smooth and straight. Engage the hips with the press. Bike turns over. And I'm holding the lateral hip movement. I'm not coming out of that. So when you feel your hips engaged, hold on to that until you finish your turning movement, and then bring your hips out. Here we go. There we go. Nice. Now, like I said before, could I do it with just the press? Yes, I can. And can I do it with just the hips? Yes, I can. But both of them together, big difference. Both of them together in concert, really nice. That's all we're doing. Hold those hips around the turn, nice and smooth, whatever speed you're comfortable. I'm going 12 miles an hour. And turn around. Okay? Now we're going to go the other way. And again, if you're really comfortable one way versus another, keep drilling the one you're not comfortable with. Hips and press, and we go through. Let's do it again. Hips and press, and we drop over. And I remain engaged with my hips. Hips and press, and the bike falls in, nice and smooth. Okay? That's all we're doing. Hips and press, and the bike falls over. And you'll see you don't need a lot of press, because those hips all by themselves are really generating a turning movement pretty good, right? Okay, so we've worked the drills to understand how the flick of the hips with the counter press drops that bike in nice and snappy and nice and easy. And we understand that going around in a full circle where I'm at a lean angle constantly allows me to see that when I engage my hips, my radius tightens up or opens up depending on which way I'm leaning my hips. Now we're going to put those two things together in that I'm going to do figure eights back here, where I'm going to engage my hips in a counter steering at the bar press to drop that bike in, and I'm going to really hold on to that turn with my hips cranking that bike over, snap out of it, unlock my hips, and go the other direction. So let's do that now. Whatever speed you're comfortable with, do it that way. But here we go. Press and hips, hold on to my hips, they come out. Press and hips, hold on to that lock with my hips, and it comes out. Press and hips, come out of the turn. Press and hips, brings the bike over nice and quick, and I'm out. That's all we're doing, is nice figure eights with all this fun debris on the ground. Nothing like a lot of debris. Makes it a lot more exciting. So that's it. You can do these figure eights as tight as you want. But understand, I'm engaging my hips. I'm just going hip to hip to hip. So hips, pushing that bike over. I can feel, just so you know, I can feel that motorcycle get pushed over with just my hips. I can feel that snap. I'm really using a lot of hips here. And it throws the bike over nice and quick, and it gives me a great platform because I'm counterbalanced, but those hips really drop that bike over nice and smooth, so I can turn a nice, comfortable radius. And I can feel a big pull in my hips when I do this. Significant. But I will just say, this is definitely a platform for me that stabilizes everything else that I do. And if you follow the stuff that I do, you know there's a lot of little layered techniques, and that's all good and fine. But this all by itself, in my opinion, is low-hanging fruit because it's not hard to figure out. Like this technique I'm using, not hard at all. And this is it. Nice and easy. All right, any questions, hit me up, Police Motor Training. And good luck. I think you're going to love this exercise. Very excited for you. Have a great day.